Hello, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world. This is the Cedar podcast. My name is Mahmoud, your host. You can call me Cedar, that's fine. Welcome back to the Cedar podcast. I have to say that in every episode, otherwise it would lose its charm. This is the fourth episode. We're going to talk about stereotypes today. Stereotypes they're something that they're a hot topic. It's something controversial, but again, I'm going to try my best not to offend anyone, not to insult anyone. It is not my intent to offend anyone. If you do feel offended, if you feel that I hurt you in some way, in some manner, then please just write down a comment and I'll get back to you and I'll look into it. Okay? But without further ado, let's start with a simple definition of what a stereotype is. So what is a stereotype? People, whenever you think of the word stereotype, what do you think of? Do you think of negative stereotypes? Do you think of positive stereotypes? Before we get into those, by definition, simply put, it is an association. A stereotype is an association, or it's a belief. So it is a belief where you link a person or a group of people or a whole society of people with something, such as, all Arabs are terrorists, or all Americans are overweight people, all Asians are good at math. So we'll get into those when we talk about the examples. But in essence, that is what a stereotype is. It is an association. Now, if you think about it, we use stereotypes almost every day. Now, you might be thinking, wait, what? What do you mean? Well, let me tell you. Let's say you meet a new person. Let's say you are at university and you sit down, someone sits with you and you start chatting and they mention that they love pasta. Okay? Everyone loves pasta. So they say they love pasta. Now, what do? This thing that they said will be ingrained in your mind. Now, in the future, you will start associating that person with their love of pasta. Now, this is going to be helpful in the future. Why? Let's say that you're inviting that person for dinner. Or let's say that you're discussing where you want to go eat for lunch. And then you think, oh yeah, they love pasta. Maybe they're going to love this new pasta place that I tried out, that I ate at last week. So then you will start, or let's say you want to invite them for dinner. What do you cook them? You might cook them pasta. You might, if you want to buy them something, you might buy them something that relates to their love of pasta. It's because that is something that is now stuck in your head. You have associated them with pasta. That is just one example. Let's say another example is there's this person who loves to play video games. Okay, they love reading all about the gaming news, all about the latest games coming out, and so on. That's just all they can think about is video games. Naturally, next time you buy them something for their birthday, what are you going to buy them? Are you going to buy them something that involves woodworking? No, you're going to buy them something that involves video gaming. Let's say the latest game that just came out and maybe they didn't have enough money to buy it. Let's say a gaming magazine. You might give them a gaming magazine. Let's say there are so many examples, okay? But again, we use stereotypes every day. So don't be shocked to learn about this. You just didn't realize it. Now, with that said, let's now talk about the two different types of stereotypes. Okay? Actually, there are three different types, but, well, let's just get into it. There are good stereotypes, or positive stereotypes. There are bad stereotypes, or negative stereotypes. And the third one is more of a gray area. You don't exactly know what it is. I'll get into that at the end. Let's start by talking about the good/positive stereotypes. Now, examples of positive stereotypes can include the age limit of certain things. For example, you can drink when you turn 21. You can drive when you turn 18, and so on. These are positive stereotypes because they're not really harming someone. They're not really hurting someone. They are just accepted. Another example. I'm going to use an example that relates to me. All Lebanese people are hospitable people. Now, this might be 95% true. This might be 100% true. Who knows? Because again, there are exceptions. Now, why is this a positive stereotype? Let's say that you are a Lebanese family that is not hospitable. Now, if someone says that all Lebanese people are hospitable, is that really harming your family? It's not, because on the contrary, it's making you and your family look good, because that person believes that all Lebanese people are hospitable. So you shouldn't really be hurt by that. Now, examples. What about another one? Here's another one. All American people are hardworking people. Again, if you're not a hard worker, this is going to make you look good in front of others, because that person said, "Oh, all Americans are hardworking people." That is a positive stereotype. Simply put, a positive stereotype is anything that will make someone feel or look good. Okay? Before I continue into the negative stereotypes, generally speaking, this is something important. Generally speaking, anything that you think that will make someone feel uncomfortable, just don't say it. If you're about to say something, but let's say you wouldn't like it, then don't say it. It's that thing, an eye for an eye. Don't say something that you wouldn't want. Is that an eye for an eye? I don't know if that's the correct phrase, but it's fine. If you don't have anything nice to say, or if you're going to say something that you wouldn't like it being said to you, then just don't say it. But I digress. Let's move on to the negative stereotypes. There are plenty of negative stereotypes, and these are probably the ones that people are most familiar with. All Arabs are terrorists. Very, very bad connection. All Americans are obese because they eat a lot of McDonald's. Again, not a good connection. All Asians are good at math. All black people are good at sports. Why are these negative? They're negative because it makes you have expectations. Let's say the next time you meet an Asian person, you'll instantly think of, this guy's Asian. He must be good at math. No, it doesn't work that way. Because, well, personally speaking, I've met a lot of Asian people who aren't good at math. So I just completely debunked the stereotype. Because I have a real life example. But these are negative stereotypes because it allows you to set expectations for others, and it lets you portray them in a bad light. You're shining the spotlight on them, and that's not good, because people don't like to have the spotlight shun. I don't know what the word is. People don't like to have the spotlight on them. Okay. What about the third different type of stereotypes? This is more of a gray area. It mostly involves food. So let's say all Americans love burgers. Now, is this true? No. Is this false? Maybe. Maybe there's a person that doesn't love burgers, but if they added something to their burger, maybe they ate a vegetarian burger, maybe they added a special sauce to their burger, maybe then they would love burgers? Again, it's a gray area. So we're not going to discuss any further. I just wanted to bring that up because it was on the back of my mind and I felt like I had to say it. So, again, there are positive stereotypes, there are negative stereotypes. In summary, positive stereotypes are the ones that make people feel or look good. Negative stereotypes are the ones that make people look or feel bad. Now, which ones should you use and which ones should you avoid? It's pretty obvious. Stick with the positive stereotypes, avoid using the negative stereotypes, because then people will start having doubts about their character. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about is if stereotypes are necessarily a bad thing to use these days. Do you think that stereotypes are a bad thing to have in society? Personally, I don't think that they're a bad thing necessarily. It helps people remember things. Like I said, let's say you meet someone and they love to go watch movies every week. The next time you can't think about what you want to do with that person, you would tell them, hey, you want to go watch a movie? I remember that you said that you loved watching movies every week. Why don't we go for a movie? it helps people remember things about other people. And furthermore, if you love learning about different cultures and traveling, let's say you're a vlogger that loves to travel to different countries and to learn about different cultures, then stereotypes are great for you. Let's say you come here to Lebanon and you think of, oh wow, Lebanese people are generally hospitable people. Now, they're not all Lebanese people are hospitable people, but I would say that more than 50% of Lebanese families are hospitable. I think that's safe to say. And if I'm wrong, then please let me know. But I think it's generally safe to say that that more than 50% of Lebanese families are hospitable. Because I've been told by Lebanese people themselves that we are very hospitable people. So I'm not coming up with this just without any logic, because people did actually tell me this. So if you come to Lebanon and you think, wow, Lebanese people are generally going to be hospitable, then you are safe to assume that. If you go to, let's say, Italy, and you think, maybe more than 50% of Italian families love pasta or pizza. Is that a positive stereotype, or is that a negative stereotype? I don't know. You should do your research. Now, before you go to any country, again, you have to do your research, because maybe there are some things there that you shouldn't talk about. Maybe there are some things there that shouldn't be mentioned, and so on. Just do your research, okay? But anyways, I think that is all I have to say for this episode. It's a shorter episode today because, again, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to think of how long I want these episodes to be. Ideally, I want them to be between 11 and 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and this one is 12 minutes so far, so I think it's a good time to end it. This is still the 4th episode. By the time I reach the 15th episode or the 20th episode, I would have learned a lot more. I'm still doing my research on podcasting. I'm relatively new to this. Because I want you guys to have a good experience. If there's feedback, please, by all means, just leave your feedback in the comments. Would love to get some more feedback to improve. It could be about anything. It could even be about the thumbnail. If you don't like the thumbnail, I'll change it. If it's not very nice, or the title of the video, just give me any feedback. Just throw all the feedback at me. I'm a very open-minded person when it comes to these things. So, yeah. But I think that's it. Please, again, as I always say, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episodes, okay? See ya.